Okay, today I'm tailoring the new FOXWELL NT809BT. So we got our instructions. It actually has a decently thick manual with it. We have our wireless module, and this is one of the really nice things about this particular setup is that we do not have to have a wire going from the OBD2 port to our tablet. So we can actually use this thing entirely wirelessly. We got our charging cable. It is USB-A to USB-C. And we have got our tablet. On the top we got a power button, we got a USB-C port and a USB-A port. And on the back we actually got a kickstand so we can put this guy up so you can read the thing without having to hover over it. So I'm going to plug this guy in to start charging. It's always a good idea to charge them before you start using them. Yeah, it's a good thing I did too because it looks like that thing needed a charge. But we can see up here on the top left we do have a red LED indicator on there letting us know that it is currently charging. There's a very nice display on it. Okay, and we'd have a disclosure, and we're going to need to register an account. I already have one, so it's not a big deal for me. I'm just going to log in, but if you don't have one, you're going to have to create one. So it looks like we can log directly into our Wi-Fi from here, and that's going to be important. It's also going to be useful because that way we can check for all of our updates. Getting everything connected to Wi-Fi is something that I always wish I had with old OBD2 scanners where I had to actually plug it into the computer and then apply updates to it. So this is much nicer. Okay, we are connected. Okay, so we are now activating the serial number of this product to my account, and we are activated. Cool. Now let's check for updates. Okay. And we have got a ton of updates. So that's a good thing in my opinion because what that means is that they are regularly keeping up with new vehicles and new software for those vehicles. As one thing that FOXWELL does extremely well is they keep all of their models updated. Now we can go through and we can update each one individually. I'm just going to go to update all and we're going to sit back and let this guy do its thing. So it looks like it uploaded new software to the unit, but it still says it had 160 updates. Yeah, so it still has a bunch of updates. So I'm going to go back, just hit update all again, and let that guy finish. We might have to do this a couple of times. Let's just look through. Yeah, we have got a ton of updates. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to put this guy on pause. I'm going to let it charge up. I'm going to let it get all the updates, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so we are charged, and we are now fully updated. So there were a ton of updates on this guy. See, I am still scrolling. There we go. Finally got to the end. And let's go to the side. Okay, cool. So this does actually have remote control on it. So what that means is if I'm at home and I'm trying to help out a buddy that actually has this unit, I can remote into this thing and see everything that's going on their car. So that's a very nice option. Video scope. Okay, so that's if we have a USB camera, we can use this as an endoscope. Okay, cool. And we got some information if we're going to be using this in a shop environment. Let's go ahead and plug in our dongle. And let's do a diagnostic check. America, Ford. Proceed with the update. Yes. So this is actually going to update the firmware on the Bluetooth dongle. Okay. All right, back to Ford. Maverick. And that is a 2.5. Yep. And it's also important to note this is a hybrid. We'll do a quick scan. Okay, so we had lots of no faults, but we did have one fault right up here on the body control module. Oh, that's cool. So let's go through and doing a full diagnostic on it. So turn the stereo off and on, honk the horn. Oh, brake pedal switch. So I've got, I had my foot on the brake pedal. Okay, live data. Ambient light level status. This is cool. So let's just go ahead and check all these. Oh wow, there are a ton of different monitoring points. Oh yeah, right down here, select all. There we go. Okay. Ambient light level status. Right now it is set to twilight. Right now it says the battery voltage is 14.6. Brake switch off. If I press it down, brake switch on. So this is actually reading in real time. Now we also have a graph. And we're going to take that and I'm going to put that on brake switch. There you go. So this is basically an oscilloscope and an OBD2 reader. That is cool. This is interesting. Cumulative battery charge when ignition is on, 4.1. Cumulative discharge when battery engine is off, 3.2. Driver door ajar counter. Right now it says it's ajar. Right now it says it's closed. So that's cool. So if you're having a problem with your vehicle, the sensor on the door isn't working properly, you can actually tell if that's the door or if it's the car not reading it right, because you can see right here whether or not the car is actually reading it. So if you open the door and that doesn't say ajar, you'll know that the sensor is bad. Horn relay. There you go. It went on. Hope I'm not waking up my neighbors. Look at that. Number of stop-start events, 6,876. So that actually has a tracker in the vehicle telling us how many times we started and stopped. I would never have been able to see that if I didn't have this scanner. Right front turn signal lamp status. There you go. flash. That's cool. So again, it's going to be one of those things where if you're not sure if it's the switch or if it's the vehicle, with this you can actually tell. Wow, lots of tire pressure monitoring system stuff. Neat. All right. So that is quite a bit. So that was the body control module. Let's go to the BCM powertrain control module. And I want to see live data. Okay, and we'll do select all again, and okay. Okay, so it says the air conditioning pressure sensor voltage is 1.47. Let's go ahead and turn the AC on. There we go. So you can see the voltage is going up. And let's go ahead and crank it up to heat. And that is starting to go down. Cool. So right now the air conditioning pressure sensor is at 123. If I put this on low, you can see that PSI is climbing quite a bit. That is neat. Definitely stuff you would not be able to see without this scanner. Absolute throttle position says it is currently at 18. Yeah, and if I press down on the gas, that is picking up, so you can make sure that our throttle sensor is working properly. Oh, wow. We can see, so this is a 4-cylinder engine, we can see the acceleration value of each cylinder independently. And right here we can see the pedal position. So right now I have it at 74%. That is neat. Ambient air temperature, it says 18 degrees Celsius. And according to the vehicle, it says it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm not sure what the conversion there is. I'll check that later. Tell you if you got a fault on that sensor. What's the voltage on that sensor? Barometric pressure, which I guess that will make a difference in how the engine runs. Cylinder head temperature. So right there we got the voltage for that sensor, 53 degrees Celsius. There we go, desired idle speed RPM. So it wants to be 1250 RPM, but we'll be able to see what the actual RPM is down lower. We got how much gas is left in the vehicle. Distance to empty displayed, 415 kilometers. Calculated, 409. Lots of stuff for the EGR, electronic throttle control. So this is giving us the output of 5.7 and what it's requesting 4.6. You can see those updating, they should be pretty close. Very nice if you're doing any kind of diagnostic testing. Coolant temperature sensor. It's neat being able to see this because when I press down on the gas, it starts the engine. We can see the exhaust flow rate went to 0. Of course, when I start the vehicle by pressing the gas, it has to be in sport mode to do this. You can actually see the exhaust flow rate right there. Oh, we can even see the oil life remaining. So this is 98% because I just had the oil change done like a week ago. Engine revolutions per minute, currently 0. And we are right there, 1230. So I wanted the idle to be 1250. It is right about 1250. Lots and lots and lots and lots of different things. Yeah, that is amazing. Okay, let's go to active test. Anti-lock braking system. Live data. The anti-lock braking system is different from just braking because this is going to be what engages when you slam the brakes whenever you're going at speed. Oh, but right here we got evacuate and fill process status. Production line fill. Basically, whenever we need to bleed the brakes, especially with ABS brakes, is a little bit more in depth. This is going to let us know if it is actually trying to bleed those brakes. Brake fluid level, brake fluid hydraulic pressure. Let's go ahead and hit the brakes. There we go. 400 PSI. Yeah, again, lots and lots and lots of information. So what's amazing about these new vehicles, and something I actually like about them, like a lot of people, they say they like working on old vehicles because it's, you know, it's basic, and to a degree it is, but there's going to be some things where you just have to start replacing parts until you find the thing that's right. The more you work on it, the easier that's going to be. But with new vehicles, you can go in here and you can see exactly what's wrong with it. Most of the time, it'll even tell you what's wrong with it just by hitting that diagnostic button. You don't even really have to know that much about cars. It'll tell you exactly what to look for. Most of the time, it'll tell you exactly how to fix it, and you just go in there and replace the part. Okay, restraint control module, so that's your seat belts. Battery energy control module, audio control module, cruise control, DC to DC converter. That's actually interesting because with this vehicle you have your normal 12 volt and then you have your high voltage because it is a hybrid. Select all. It says it's operational. Control module voltage is 14. Converter status is on. And the high voltage current measured is 1.6 amps. Now, of course, I'm not moving the vehicle. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. There we go. We can see the amps are picking up. When we start moving, it's going to pick up those amps. Cool. And it does say that it's currently measuring at 220 volts. That is awesome. Just, I mean, an EOBD2 scanner that came out before hybrids, like you got to have these newer models if you want to actually get that information. Very nice having a scanner that I can actually use on my hybrid vehicle. Lots and lots of modules on this thing too. I'm used to there being like 4. This is like how many are around here? I don't know, a lot. 20? Something like that. And the edge. Oh, that's nice. So it'll remind you to unplug it because you don't want to leave your little Bluetooth dongle in somebody else's vehicle. All right, let's go to maintenance. So look at all these things we can do. Whoa, there's even more than that. Excellent. So we can do an oil reset, manual reset. Oh, this is cool. This is going to tell you the real steps on the vehicle on how to reset that yourself. I already knew how to do this, but it's nice that it gives you this information right here, especially if you're working on cars that you're not familiar with. We can prime the fuel pump. We can do an oxygen sensor test. We can do an injector test. Change the language. That's interesting. G sensor, fuel pressure test, DPF, dashboard, EGR reset, EPB, EVAP, clutch adaptation. Here's the ABS service, AFR adaptation, SAS, reset crankshaft, replace airbag, tire pressure, TPS, transmission adaptation, turbo, and windows and doors. So we can actually make those things operate. That can actually be handy in the event that your windows aren't going up and down. You can find out if that's that switch on your door or if there's actually a problem with like a motor or something like that. Because quite often it's just a switch. With this, you can actually make sure that the windows are still moving. Then you'll know that it's actually the switch. So yeah, there are a ton of features on this guy. This is an extremely nice scanner, especially with having that bidirectional control where we can actually control the functions on the vehicle. This is going to be an excellent tool, especially for modern vehicles like this, which is a hybrid. So I'm very happy with that.